to part 4 of Decluttering Roulette. I have had a couple of days off because I ran a marathon on Sunday. I know it sounds really impressive. I actually walked a significant amount of the marathon on Sunday, but I'm still a broken woman, so I have been recovering. I got the fridge for today, and I feel again, it's the universe just give me a hand because I pulled this out of the, I wouldn't say out of the hat, I pulled this out of the bag earlier in the day, but I actually didn't get around to doing it until the evening, and the fridge is definitely one I could do in an evening, whereas, you know, some of these are much bigger jobs or tougher to do with the kids asleep upstairs. So kids are all in bed. My middle kiddo has been resisting sleep until like 9, half 9 at night. And oh my goodness, we sit with our kids and they go to sleep, and we don't have to do that anymore. I think with the boys, like they definitely could get themselves to sleep, but it's, you know, a habit that we've got into. We like doing it. They like it. So for now, we're sticking with it. But my goodness me, he was just like sitting upright, chatting. Can I have another hug, mummy? Can I do that? Can I ask you a question? Like, oh my goodness, I have things to do. Obviously, I don't say that, but I'm like, of course you can have another hug now. Close your eyes, go to sleep. You've got a big day tomorrow. Please go to sleep. So finally, I emerged and tackled the fridge. The fridge is one of those things for me, like, it definitely gets on top of me, and actually it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but that is good because we have a little bit of a problem with our fridge amassing little icebergs in the back. I think I am pretty sure why this is now, in that the seal around the fridge door doesn't seem to be sealing properly. So I feel like the fridge is probably like working overtime to keep itself cool, and then it gets condensation at the back, and that forms into ice. Then when it cools down again, and we end up with this little iceberg at the bottom. So as I cleared the fridge, I discovered that the iceberg was reasonably large. Now, it hadn't caused a problem. It gets to the point where it causes a problem for the fruit and veg, which sit in the two baskets at the bottom, and it will like cause, you know, like cucumber and lettuce, they don't fare well if they get too cold. Like, they absolutely cannot be frozen, and with the little iceberg forming at the back, it kind of freezes some of the fruit and veg, which then ruins it. So that's normally when I become aware that it is an issue, is when I start noticing like the cucumber has gone soft and things like that. That has not been happening, so it's not got to that point, but I decided that we would tackle this before it got to that point. Like, go me, being organised. And then what I need to do, I think, is just take the whole seal off the door and then put it back on again and hope it fits better. But I've tried like pushing the bits of the seal that aren't secured properly at the bottom back in, and they just pop straight back out again. So I'm also not sure what to do there. Like, maybe I should be using some kind of industrial glue to glue it on. I do not know. It's not supposed to be glued on. It's supposed to just be pushed in place. So for now, what I've done is just basically go through, pull out food that is out of date, and then my husband said, right, you know, hot water's still here. Do you need it? And this is definitely not a day for taking everything out of the fridge and doing a deep clean. But I thought, you know what, I will just wipe down some of the lower shelves because they're the ones that kind of get the most mucky. And it was when I did that, I was like, oh, this iceberg is back and it is not looking great. So it gets stuck with the kind of the shelves at the back there, and then they have some brackets at the back, so I can pull the shelves out fine, but the brackets are basically encased in ice, and a bit of ice coming out there. So I was like, right, let's stop that from melting. And I basically had to remove the fruit and veg trays, and then it took a little while of easing the ice block out. But while I do that, I will tell you about my marathon if you're interested, if you want to know. So 10 years ago this April was the last time I ran a full marathon before this Sunday. So I have always really enjoyed running, but I'm not a natural runner. I'm absolutely not a natural runner. I am not fast. I do not find it easy, but I find it really enjoyable, and I really enjoy tackling the longer distances, but I am not speedy by any means. I'm not even mediocre. I am slow. And also getting back into running after having kids. So I had years where I didn't run because I was either pregnant or I had young kids. And it was just, it was hard to try to get back into exercise. So I just walked in between having kids. I would go for walks with them, like, in the buggy, in the baby carrier. But I didn't do any like formal exercise. And then about 18 months ago, I thought, I'd really like to get back into running. But, now I'm in my early 40s. I'm 41 now. I definitely find it harder on the joints. I've never been fast and I found it hard to get back into. I did couch to 5K, still found that pretty hard. And then I did my first half marathon for over 10 years. I did that in March of last year. And there was a lovely pacer there. She was pacing 2 hours 45 pace and was walking. So running 30 seconds, walking 30 seconds, right from the start all the way through the race. And I've never come across this before. Like, this is totally alien concept to me. Like, actually walking from the very start of races, like doing such short run walking intervals. Like, I would say, I've often walked and I was usually walking parts of my runs, but it was, run as much as you can until you're absolutely exhausted, then walk, and then run a little bit, then walk a little bit, that was my strategy. So the idea of this being like a proper strategy for running, so alien to me. But I did that half marathon with her pacing. Look at this ice. There's so much ice. So I did that half marathon with her, and it was like just so good. I felt strong by the end of it. I really enjoyed it. So I have walked ever since. Short intervals, 30-second intervals of running and walking. And I found it so much better on my joints. And honestly, my times are just the same as they were when, I was just running before. So it takes me around about 36 minutes to do a 5K. And it takes me around about 2 hours 40 to do a half marathon. So stupidly, I signed up for a half marathon last year. I watched the London Marathon in April last year and I was like, I'd love to do a marathon again. I did London Marathon 10 years ago in April and it was amazing. The atmosphere was amazing. It was fantastic. I finished it in 5 hours 33 and I didn't think I'd be anywhere near that now, 10 years later, having had 3 kids. But I hoped I'd be under 6 hours. I signed up. I entered the ballot for London Marathon. I didn't get it. I got Brighton. I've never run Brighton. And I thought, that sounds like fun. It was not fun. It was, I am proud of myself. I'm going to start with, I am really proud of myself for completing it. But I got really poorly the Thursday before the marathon and I was thrown up all night. I won't bore you with all the details, but it was awful. I don't know what it was. Kids didn't have it. Don't know. But I've only just recovered from it. So it's only just yesterday that I started to get my appetite back. So I wasn't able to eat properly after Thursday, which was really hard to then fuel my body for the marathon. I'd only done one run that whole week, early in the week on the Tuesday, and then I'd fallen ill on Thursday. And really, honestly, I probably just shouldn't have done it. I wasn't well enough. But it's one of those things, you can't defer it, right? You can't put it off. You can't do another one the next month. You train for months in the lead up to it. And I had trained really hard. I'd put my all in. I'd been doing long runs every weekend for, 3 months before. And I wanted to achieve it. And I knew I'd be absolutely gutted if I didn't do it. But it did not go to plan. The first 10 miles were actually pretty good. And I think basically, in hindsight, I should have actually done shorter walks. So doing some research afterwards, when it was a little bit too late, I think the recommendation is actually you be running 15 seconds, walking 30 seconds, and then you do that for 10K. And then if you still feel strong, you add 5 seconds to your run every 10K. And that makes a lot of sense to me. And I would like to try that in the future, maybe for half marathons. I'm not signing up for another marathon anytime soon. But I finished the marathon in 6 hours and 6 minutes. And I'll be honest, I was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't under 6 hours, because that was my aim, was to finish it under 6 hours. But it's only just over 6 hours. I finished it. It's a marathon distance. I finished it even though I'd been ill in the week. But yeah, it was very emotional. I cried a lot. I cried a lot. From basically around 10 and a half miles, I cried on and off for the whole run. Just what on earth, honestly. But my family all walked up for it, as my husband's family. Husband took kids, had my husband's brother and sister, their partners, their kids. There was a whole big gang of us, basically. And they were really great support. They were there at various different points, cheering me on. And I will say, when I saw them, it really cheered me up. Like, I thought when I saw them, I might be really emotional, might be really tearful. But actually, when I saw them, and especially the kids, it was so exciting. They were so excited and they were so happy. So that was really lovely. Here's everything that we got rid of from the fridge. It wasn't too bad. Like, I don't feel too bad about it. I always feel really guilty when I throw away a lot of food, like I'm not using it up properly, but there wasn't much to throw away. So that is good. And here's the ice. So I decluttered a little bit of food and a lot of ice, and that is pretty good going. I will see you in the next one. Bye.